All right, guys, what's going on? Arid Lord here. I guess we can delete this. Yeah, I was just putting that there because I had like family photos and stuff in the other location I was filming in. Another location, Nuka-Cola shirt today. Coming back with a more relaxed vlog. More information from our favorite fan group, The Spoiling Dead. I just want to reiterate before I start this vlog that, you know, the vitriol that I might have conveyed in my last vlog, it wasn't meant to be directed towards every single member of the Spoiling Dead, mainly just kind of the upper management that deals with leaking the spoilers. I know a lot of people who join are just very eager to know the spoilers and understand this information just like I am. There's actually a fan. I'm actually a fan of his too. A YouTube user called Be Claimed. Special shout out to him, but he actually rips the Walking Dead soundtrack from the show because there is an official soundtrack release, but like not every song is on it. Bear McCreary basically took seasons 1 through 7 and picked out the songs that were his favorites. He combined tracks. I bought that album actually because I'm a huge fan of Bear McCreary's work and the Walking Dead soundtrack from 1 to 7, or actually 1 to 8. I mean, the soundtrack doesn't include any of the songs from season 8, but it's a great. Like the soundtrack, there's always been so many interesting techno. I mean, the Governor, Negan, they've all had interesting themes that were very specific to them and the different chaos that they bring as characters. And so Be Claimed, I mean, he takes out the talking, the vocals. There's still zombie effects, explosions, gunshots, but you know, I try to tough through it because I still like the beats. So over the years, I've downloaded a lot of the tracks that he's made available on his page. I'd highly suggest if anyone likes the Walking Dead soundtrack, go over to his page and check out all of the soundtracks. Every time a new episode's released, usually in the next couple of days, he uploads the soundtrack for that episode. So thanks. And the reason I'm mentioning him is because he commented on my most recent video saying that he was a member of the Spoiling Dead and basically said, you know, I shouldn't, you know, blanketly blame the entirety of the Spoiling Dead, which is very true. Again, most of my complaints were mainly geared towards the people. I believe it's Ninja Pancake and there's some other people who are like the founders, the head echelon, who deal with leaking the spoilers, who make the decisions. So it's only that top management who really, you know, I don't agree with the practice of the leaking because, you know, as I said in my last vlog, it confuses people, you know, whether Rick dies, whether he goes missing. I mean, there's a lot of misinformation that's being spread around and picked up by news articles. That being said, there was actually this. I don't normally do this. I don't normally do this, but it was a very, very, very interesting piece of information here that I kind of wanted to hone in on. Just in terms of The Walking Dead and information of that sort. So, according to their Facebook page, The Spoiling Dead says, we have independent source confirmation that there will be a second time. Again, this is all spoilers. I usually, you know, fine, this is all spoilers. If the name is The Spoiling Dead, there's going to be spoilers. Again, we don't know. I'm actually going to say that. This is potentially spoilers because as we've seen, these things that are released by The Spoiling Dead sometimes aren't true. And that's why I just don't think they should be released at all. But this is such a tumultuous time, I'm willing to dive into the spoilers here. Usually I don't. I want to be surprised about the show. But because of the giant ambiguity surrounding Lauren Cohan, Andrew Lincoln, their characters, just the show is so uncertain right now. These are two main characters that if they leave, this show is in big trouble. And I want to really cover it. So we have independent source confirmation that there will be a second time jump in Season 9. As already reported back in May, Episode 1 will show a time jump of approximately 12 to 18 months, including a bouncing baby Herschel. Recent filming evidence, we're anticipating another jump. Source tells us the second time jump is 5 to 6 years. This also comes along with the confirmation that Matt Lintz, Mason Lintz's older brother, will be playing an aged-up Henry. Now, I don't know how fast puberty hit that fucking kid because, I mean, you're talking 5 to 6 years. How old would he have to look to play that character? The time jump appears to occur either between episodes 5 and 6 or during episode 6. the one that likely just wrapped up yesterday filming. What does this mean for Rick Grimes? Your guess is as good as ours. So I actually like this post, and the reason I chose it was because this isn't any type of... The spoiler actually opens up discussion, because now that we have information that Rick might not die and that he goes missing, maybe he's redirecting a walker herd, he goes missing, we have another Glenn under the trash dumpster situation, we don't know what's going on. This is interesting because whatever happens to Rick seems to spur this 5 to 6 year time jump, or maybe he wakes up and goes somewhere else, a new community. A lot of speculation has been hinting at the fact that maybe the Commonwealth, so there's a new group in the comics that's a very high-tech civilization called the Commonwealth, a ginormous civilization. We're talking tens of thousands of people. And people are thinking that they're going to combine that group with the Whisperers, and the Whisperers are the next, like, villainy group that comes up in the comics next. So this, and it's funny because this image right here, the banner, it doesn't seem to indicate anything with the Whisperers. That helicopter right there is a big, big mystery, a big question mark. Are they from the Commonwealth? People think that they might be. Remember, this is the helicopter that was at the junkyard. Simon mentions it. Rip Simon. He mentions it when he goes to he goes to negotiate with the junkyard before he kills them all. And then when Negan's tied up at the junkyard, Jadis tries to flag this helicopter down, and and Negan's looking at it like, what the shit? So I don't know if Jadis, because the thing is, if there's a 2-year time jump, like, that was always a question I had. Like, wouldn't Jadis have spilled the information sooner or later? Like, hey Rick, there was this helicopter and we had relations with it, and there's a freaking helipad at the junkyard. So obviously this thing has landed to either refuel or converse with the... it must have been a deal. That's my thinking. That Jadis, just like she makes her deals, like half this, half that, the deals she tried making with both Negan and Rick, she made a deal with whoever these helicopter people are, wherever they're from, she made a deal with them. And they actually fulfilled their deal, and maybe Jadis put out an SOS once her whole group was killed and she was going to leave with the helicopter people. They didn't see her flare, and then they just left. And so now we don't know where they are. So that's what happened in episode 14 of season 8. We also saw the helicopter when Rick was in season 8, when he was going to the junkyard to negotiate, and he sees it. So this thing's been popping up a lot. Where it's from, I don't know, especially since this is a 2-year time jump. They're not really using cars anymore. A lot of the photos have shown horse-drawn wagons, horses. So where is the helicopter getting the fuel? That's one question. Are they scavenging well? Have they amassed a huge fucking compilation of fuel and just saved it over the years for these helicopter expeditions? I don't know. But this is interesting because 5 to 6 years, this would go along with my theory that Judith will be a teenager and that she will take over Carl's role as the angsty teenager growing up in the apocalypse. Because if you add Judith's age 2 years, so then she would be like, what, 6 years? I don't know, like 4, 5, 6 years old. Remember in the flashback when Rick wakes up and Judith's running around and she's talking and she's a little girl? Add 5, 6 years onto that, you're talking like 12, 13, like just on the brink of a teenager. Basically where Carl was at when we first started the series, where Carl was a little kid and then he grew up, like, obviously because Chandler Riggs got older, but the same, I guess, will happen. And they'll get, I imagine they're going to cast a mainstay actress for Judith who will follow her character progression through the next few seasons, however many we get, if we're going to get more seasons. Because again, I hope Rick leaving or whatever the hell happens to him, if he is truly gone, that doesn't ruin the show. I'm really hoping that the ratings don't tank and that AMC has to kill the show. If they're really going all in on this, I hope that this really changes things up. I really do, because that would, like, think of how many characters, like, all characters could be in relationships for that period of time. Other characters could die. I mean, think of the windmill and all the production in their facilities. I mean, that is a long-ass time. I mean, Negan in prison for 6 years. I mean, his beard must be fucking like Santa Claus at this point. I mean, if we're assuming that he's still going to be in jail for this whole period. That is absolutely ridiculous. Well, not ridiculous. That's just crazy to think that they're going to do 2 time jumps. So 2 years jumping into season 9, and then another 5 years. like, again, I don't know if this is confirmed, but that's really interesting to me. To do that, to age up your characters, to give these younger characters more spotlight, like they're the new generation, it's not going to be Chandler Riggs anymore. So this is, in my opinion, this is driving home the message of a new beginning to the utmost degree. Because you have like 2 new beginnings in one half of the season. And I have to imagine it has something to do with Lauren Cohan and Rick's departures, if we're to assume that they're true. Now, Lauren Cohan, I think Angela Kang kind of did confirm it in a recent interview. Again, I don't know how they're going to do it, because those characters are main characters. Like, if you're looking at like a hierarchy system, like a tier system, you got Rick and Maggie and then Ezekiel, like they're the heads of the communities, and everyone kind of like goes down the pyramid on that angle. So I really question how they're going to make this change, but the time jump excites me. I'm very excited that some of these younger actors will get more screen time, that new actors will get screen time, that they're going to kind of bring in some new people. This time shift will be interesting to see in the show. That we had 2 time shifts, and I think it will change things up rather than people feeling stagnant every single episode. Because even with the war last year, even with All Out War, every single episode people are shooting each other. People were still complaining about the show, and I was just I'm sitting here like, well, last season they were talking a lot and figuring out their problems and in a very depressive place. Now they're shooting people and fighting and blowing up things, and people are still complaining. So again, I know people will still complain. They'll find something to complain about in season 9, and it will. Most of it might stem from the fact that Rick and Maggie might be leaving. But the good thing is, in a week's time, on Friday, Saturday, we will get our Season 9 trailer, and I will do a reaction video to it, and we will be able to maybe see and get hints at where the season's going. I don't know. I don't know if AMC will even troll us. Maybe they'll be like, we all know that you're expecting Rick to die, and we're going to put in this troll thing. And I mean, think about the end of the Season 8 trailer when Rick... There's always like one bonus scene at the end of the trailers. The end of the Season 5 trailer... Well, yeah, think about every bonus scene. At the end of the Season 4 trailer, they teased Terminus, because Daryl hears it on the radio. At the end of Season 5, they teased that hospital where Beth is being held. At the end of Season 6, they show Dwight. At the time you didn't know it, but they show Dwight holding the gun to Daryl's head when he gets tied up in the woods, which is a lead-in to Negan and the Saviors at the beginning of Season 6. In Season 7, they show Tara and Heath, and Tara hiding from the Oceanside, so that's their way of bringing Oceanside in. And then Season 8, you had Old Man Rick with the cane, which we assumed was the flash forward to after the comics, after the war's over. But in reality, that was a hint towards Carl dying and Carl's dream and vision of Rick in a better future. So who would have expected that? Who the heck could have ever guessed that? Back a year ago when Season 8 dropped its trailer and people were predicting what that Old Man Rick scene was, I don't know if anyone ever, like anyone at the time, any Walking Dead vlogger, anyone would have said, yeah, Carl dies and that's his dream for the future. Like, what? Like, no one would have, like, except the Spoiling Dead, I guess, who kind of knew that Carl was going to die because of their freaking leaks and spoilers. So other than, besides cheating, like the Spoiling Dead, anyone who legitimately was just following the show and doing predictions, who could have guessed that, really? So what's Season 9's little teaser thing at the end going to be? Is it going to be the Whisperers? Is it going to be something about Rick and Maggie leaving the show? Is it going to be this freaking helicopter and wherever the hell that's from? I don't know. Like, maybe put on your predictions. What's that teaser? Like, once the Season 9 trailer goes through all of its things, it shows the logo, and then there's one more scene at the end that teases something that's long-term. What's that long-term tease going to be? What is it going to be? Maybe it's Negan breaking out of prison. I mean, because there are things with him in the comics. So we'll see. This is just cool, though. I want your guys' opinions on another time jump. A lot of these actors getting more time, if it's to be believed true. Again, I would love it for next week, the Spoiling Dead to say, oh, just kidding, it was a false report. And then I'm like, well, thanks a lot, because now I have information that I just put a vlog out for that's now false. And again, that was what I ranted about in my last vlog that I got so angry about. Because I still don't believe in the spoilers. I don't. I mean, so much information's been ruined over the years with regards to major deaths. I mean, they figured out the Glenn and Abraham death before anyone over the summer. And that was supposed to be a cliffhanger. They wanted people to guess and guess and guess and then have it be revealed. And, of course, they figured it out before anyone. So we'll see. We'll see what we make for next vlogs. I just wanted to make this one because there's some exciting things in the mix for The Walking Dead. So post up your thoughts. Let me know what you guys think. I'm very excited. So thank you very much. I'm the Air Raid Lord. Hope to see you guys for more vlogs in the future. Peace out, and thanks for watching.